Hi everyone. So in this video, we'll try to analyze how the budget was, what are the positives and which sector should benefit from that, and also the negatives which are there for a few sectors and how that should play out. Okay. So the budget 23, the big changes were made in the income tax structure, especially the new one, although the old tax regime remains the same, but the new one saw a lot of changes. I will be discussing that. Plus, in the railways got a big push this time, and it has already been doing very well as we have seen the railway stocks hitting new highs continuously in the last many weeks, many months also. And also the capex, that is on the infrastructure spend that the government is spending, that has also been very good compared to the last previous years. This time they have put a lot of money for capex. So first look at the income tax changes. So the new tax regime to become the default tax regime, that means whenever you're trying to file the tax, right, it is going to take this one, the new one, as default. If you want to go with the old one, change it back to the new old one. Okay. So no tax up to 7 lakhs income. So earlier, if you were 7 lakh, having 7 lakhs, right, and you couldn't get rebate, that is only up to 5 was the rebate thing, right? If you were someone who's having 6 lakhs, then you would have to end up paying from 2.5 lakhs to 5, that is 5%, and then 6 to 7 was sorry, 5 to 6 was 20% in the old regime, but in the new it was 10%, right? So now what they have done, if you're someone who's having a tax of income of 7 lakhs, you don't have to pay a single rupee as income tax. So the new slabs are 0 to 3 lakhs is nil. So this applies when your income goes above 7. Let's say my income is 10 lakhs. So then what is going to happen is the calculation starts from 3 lakhs. So 3 to 6, I'm going to end up paying 5% of 3 lakhs, which is 15,000. And then 6 to 9 is 10%. So on that 3 lakhs, again 30,000. So 15 and 30 is how much? 45. And then 9 to 12. So let's say my income is 10 lakhs. So on that last 1 lakh, I would end up paying 15,000, right? So it would be almost 60,000 for someone who's having a total income of 10 lakh, 10 lakhs. But what they have done is this time they are giving you a 50,000 standard deduction, which was not there earlier. So, from the next year, that is next financial year, what they are going to do is people can store this 50,000 standard deduction for all those who are employed, right? They can show this, and so even if you are having, let's say, 10 lakh 50,000 as your income, you'll end up paying only 60,000. Earlier, I think for something like 10 lakh 50,000, you would end up paying almost 80,000 something in the for the when the old thing was there, right? Now it has come down to 60. So there is definitely savings that is going to happen for a taxpayer in India if they are going to take the new regime, although the old regime remains the same. So hope this helps, gives a little more clarity about how switching to this one will probably reduce your tax. There are so many websites also which kind of give you the comparison as to which one is good. So you can put all your deductions as well and then compare it. But I feel with this changes, the new one should start looking better. Okay. Now coming to the railways. So 2.4 lakh crores have been provided for railways in FY24, especially with this whole Vande Bharat thing, that is these super fast trains and all the electrification. Most of these lines have been electrified, and even uh, double tracks are being laid. So all this should boost, and that should also boost a lot of these electric stocks. So you might have seen how power grid has been continuously moving up, and even cable stocks are doing very well. Even the wagon manufacturers, right, for the railways, all of them have been doing very well. So that should again get a additional boost, and they should continue their outperformance. Third is the capex, that is hiked by 33%. So is increased by 32% to 10 lakh crores. So this is going to be spent on all the your roads, dams, etc., etc., right? This should also boost your labor market. So in case it goes into construction, right? So that should help. It should help your all heavy vehicle segments, right? So if the capex cycle picks up, your steel consumption and all of that. So this should also help the slowing economy, because if you look at the GDP forecast, right, the GDP was supposed to slow down. So with this boost, it can kind of start growing, and the slowdown might not be too much, right? So now it is going to be effective capital expenditure of center to be 13.7 lakh crores. Okay, so the negatives. So government, what it wants is eventually everyone should be in the new regime. That is what they want. And because of that, in India, as you are aware, what happens is many people, they take this life insurance because they want to get this deductions in the ATC and ETD, all those stuff, right? Now, because people are moving towards the new tax regime where they can't show these as deductions, it is looked as a negative for the insurance companies. That is why a big crack in all these insurance stocks, HDFC, SBI, ICICI, LIC. Okay, so because in India that concept is still not there. People are taking insurance to save tax instead of actually making use of those as a safety thing. In other countries, right? People take insurance because the cost of medical emergency and all of that is extremely high. So eventually we are going to get there. Probably if someone has a long-term view, they can actually look at buying these insurance companies, because eventually, as India grows, people are going to be aware and they would rather buy an insurance than selling out a lot of money on these health insurance, life insurance, etc., etc. Right? So this is one negative. And even the real estate sector, people were hoping, especially the builders, that the tax exemption on the home loans, right, which is currently at 2 lakh, should be raised to at least 2.5 or 3 lakh, so that it should also kind of spur the, I mean, at least help retail investors to kind of take more loans and do all that. But because the government is not really focusing on the old regime, they want everyone to shift to the new one. They haven't really changed this particular thing. So hope this helps. And also the today's fall, right? One might feel that okay, today market crash, market didn't like the this thing. So it is not really true. It is actually a positive for the stock market, because what is going to happen is it puts more money in the hands of retail, and that should push consumption even higher. Although there are reports that the GDP is going to slow down, but because of this particular step, and retailers would have, let's say, even in a year, have a 20-25,000 saving, right? That should eventually go into either savings, or they would end up spending it, which should spur the economy as well. Okay, and even the capex that they are doing, like I already explained, it should help the infrastructure, steel stocks, your heavy machinery, all of them should do well. And even the many people should get employment as well because of that. So now coming to the last one, that is why did the market fall? So the market fall was basically because of the crackdown in all the Adani stocks. So if you see, right, all of them had a big crackdown. That is why the market fell. And you might wonder, why is Nifty in red whereas Sensex is in green? So Sensex does not have any Adani stock in them, and Nifty has two of them, Adani Ports and Adani Enterprises. And Adani Ports and Enterprise both had a pretty solid crash. That is why the reason Nifty ended in red, whereas Sensex ended in green. So hope this kind of helps you understand the budget a little more, and which areas one can focus on and benefit from it. Thank you.